don't take what Myron Rolle told you today as just words, but really internalize those and grasp those and envision yourselves as the leaders, as the great thinkers of not just tomorrow, but of today. And so we want to have this special session with you all to have an opportunity to speak with Myron about what he has achieved as a Rhodes Scholar, as an All-American, as a former professional athlete. You all are student athletes. I'm an alum, as you all know, of North Carolina Central University. I was a student athlete here. I was also a scholar athlete. And so when they asked me to chair the Honors Convocation Committee for this year, Myron Rolle was the first person who came to my mind.
Can you guys go around and tell me what sport, your name, what sport you play, maybe what year in school, and where you're from?
I'm Hakeem Dennis. I'm a sophomore. I majored in mass communications with a minor in Spanish. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm on the football team.
I'm from High Point, North Carolina, majoring in birth through kindergarten education.
James Dye, freshman, majoring in European history, and I'm part of the baseball team.
I'm Jenny Tracy. I'm from Eastern Oregon. I'm a member of the women's softball team, and I'm a freshman majoring in marketing.
I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia. I'm a member of the football team. I'm majoring in biology.
Thank you guys very much, man. You guys are all from different parts, Washington, Oregon, Stone Mountain. I have a few teammates from Stone Mountain. Do you know the Balls? Marcus Ball?
Stevenson High School.
Yeah, Stevenson guys? Yeah, man. There's some thugs though. There's some thugs. There's some thugs. I'll tell you what, when I went, I'm from New Jersey. I'm Myron Rolle from New Jersey. And parents are from the Bahamas. I went to high school at a boarding school called the Hunt School at Princeton. Really prestigious boarding school. Cost like $32,000 a year to go there. My parents didn't have that money. I got a scholarship to go there. But yeah, so I was there, and I had 83 scholarship offers coming out of high school. I was U.S. Army All-American, Parade All-American, New Jersey Player of the Year 2 times, junior and senior year. But going down to Florida State, when meeting guys like the Balls, I had glasses. I buttoned up my shirt all the way to the top, tucked my shirts in, had khakis on, and then I walk into the locker room and guys got dreadlocks, gold teeth, listening to plies. I'm like, what is this rigmarole, man? What am I going through right now? But it was great. I love my teammates. They were fantastic. I loved Florida State. I love the opportunity to play college football and be a collegiate athlete like you all are right now. It was an amazing experience for me. I chose Florida State because it was a school that fit me. I felt that school could work on all facets of who I was and who I wanted to be. You see, a lot of times when guys and girls go to colleges, they might just choose one that's maybe their friends are going to, or sounds good, or maybe even because the school wears Nike and another school wears Adidas that they're looking at, right? But I chose this school, Florida State, because one, as a Christian, my head coach was a Christian, and he believed much in faith, and I can grow spiritually. Next, academically, they accepted all my advanced placement credits in high school. I came in with 21 credits from high school, graduated in 2.5 years. Notre Dame, Michigan, they wouldn't accept them. So I was like, okay, academically, I can get what I need to get done. Athletically, they put a lot of players in the NFL. My cousin Antro plays for the Giants right now. My other cousin Samari played 13 years in the league. So I knew they had a pedigree to put players in the league, especially at defensive back. I was a safety. I knew my position was meant for the NFL. And then on the community level, being in Tallahassee, Florida, was the right fit in the sense that it's where a lot of politicians are. All the movers and shakers, like everything that happens in Florida comes through Tallahassee. So if I wanted to start a foundation, if I wanted to get involved in the Big Bend area, you know how Florida looks like that, like Tallahassee kind of up here. If I wanted to get involved, I knew I could walk down the street and shake a hand of a politician, a governor, the lieutenant governor, state senator, and say, hey, I want to help foster kids. Hey, I want to help the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Hey, I want to get involved in hunger, right? So, I just knew there were the right connections for me there. So that's why Florida State fit me the right way. And I would assume that you guys made the choice to go to this school because of similar reasons. And I just would implore to you all that this school, although, it's great to play sport, it's great to, be on the football team, be with your brothers and play softball and tennis and all these great sports, it's phenomenal. It probably could take you a long way, baseball as well. But use all the different resources at this school because you as an athlete, you have like an incredible platform to do amazing things. People listen to you all because you play a sport. People want to hear from you. People want to be connected with you. Employers want to be connected with you. Leaders around campus, your administration, they want to be connected with you because they know you guys work hard, they know you guys sweat, they know you guys have focus, you guys overcome obstacles, you guys know how to how to take criticism and constructive criticism and move forward with it. They know you guys know how to deal with different personalities on the team. You know, they know how you guys know how to set pick and rolls. You know what I mean? They know you guys have the design to be special people. That's why they want to be around athletes. That's why athletics in America are so revered, because you guys are special. And I'm not saying that to make you stand out, or have you guys have a stiff neck and walk around like with a condescending attitude. I'm saying that because it's true. That's why you are here right now. That's why I'm sure opportunities at the school have opened up for you because you're an athlete. And so because those doors have opened for you, now it's time for you to say, all right, I'm going to walk into those doors. I'm going to shake those hands. I'm going to get business cards, and I'm going to write on the back of the business card, okay, you are the state senator from North Carolina? Cool, got you. I'm going to call you when I start my foundation. I need some money. You know what I mean? All those things. You have many opportunities in front of you. Now it's just time for you to say, okay, the sport is great. I'm great in school. Now, how can I really take full advantage of NCCU and get the most out of this experience? I left Florida State, like, people knew I went to Florida State after I left. That's what I wanted. When I went from Jersey down to Tallahassee, 19-hour drive, I wanted people to say, I knew Myron Rolle came and left. He had an impact. They felt me. They felt me there. And you guys should feel the same way. And it's not just going to happen, all the touchdowns you score, all the tackles you make, all the points you drop, all the wins you have in tennis. Like, they're not going to know all of that things. They're not going to know all the stats. There are other great athletes that come to this school as well, right? But they will know and feel you if you do all the other things and take advantage and exhaust all those opportunities that this great school and this great community has for you. All right. So I don't want to preach you too much. I kind of want to make this really open so you guys can ask me questions about my high school career, even before then, about my family life, about what I like to watch. Anything you want. Why I'm wearing an ascot. Whatever y'all want to talk to me about. This is an open discussion. I want this to be a conversation. All of us.
What do you have on your iPod or on your phone? What type of music do you like to listen to? Whether you're studying, relaxing, focused, what will we find?
A lot of gospel. I'm a huge fan of Fred Hammond and J.J. Harrison and Youthful Praise. I kind of like old gospel. My church that I used to go to, or I still go to now, are kind of like real old, traditional. You got a guy who goes up there and prays for like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, won't sit down. Especially when it's Easter Sunday, he wants to be up there for like an hour. Man, sit down. So, a lot of gospel. I have a lot of reggae, soca, calypso. That speaks to my Bahamian heritage. I actually have some African music as well. Like I said, I had a chance to go to Congo with President Clinton on a humanitarian trip, and Ashley Judd and Jeff Gordon, we all went over there and we really assessed the ground situation there on this hospital that saw 300 sexually violated women every month, I think it was. So it was unbelievable. So I went to Congo. I sort of picked up the African flavor, and so I have some of that. Don't really get into rap music too much, although I hear it and know it. It doesn't edify my soul as much as it should, so I kind of stay away from it.
Who did you look up to as a young athlete?
I looked up to Deion Sanders. I liked his flash. He obviously went to Florida State, so it was a school I liked growing up. I also looked up to my cousin, Smart. He went to FSU, great player. He was always ahead of me, and I loved the way he played. The guys who play the game well, who are also thinkers of the game, because I always wanted to be like a student and know my opponent, be in my playbook, know that if they come out in 2 wide and 11 personnel or something like that, and it's 3rd and 4, and receivers are kind of close, they're probably going to run a curl flat combo or something like that. I just thinking about it, knowing the play and reacting quickly, that helped me out a lot, and I think those guys did it well. So growing up, Deion and Samar are probably guys I looked at like, hey, these guys are all want to be like. And they both went to FSU, so maybe it was foretold younger that I was going to go to FSU.
What words did you cling to when you were in college to keep you focused, and what was important?
What kept me focused was that I always went back to my parents' sacrifice. And I talked about this a little bit today in the convocation speech, that I knew that they made a huge sacrifice for me and my brothers to be in this country. And it was not time for me to blow any chance that I had, like this great chance of being at school in college and playing college sports in front of many people on TV and maybe get into the NFL. I knew it was not my chance to blow that. And so I always stayed focused. And to be frank, I didn't like spades. I didn't like going to the club. I don't drink. Like those things that maybe were distractions to other guys, they just didn't vibe with me like that. So in that sense, it was easy to say no to it. But then I also let it be clear to my teammates that I was about business. My teammates used to call me Mr. President because they think I'm going to run president one day, right? So they used to know that I was about business. When I got to school, it was like, hey, y'all don't play around. Myron Rolle, he's doing this thing. I went down to my teammates' room my freshman year, when I first got on campus. I was in the 3rd floor, they were on the 1st floor, and they were all hanging out. And I don't know anything about Tallahassee now. I'm new. So I went down there, and I was like, I just want to hang out with my boys, right? They're my brothers, they're my teammates. I'm like, yeah, I just want to kind of chill with y'all guys. So I went down there to the room. I opened up the door. I'm not going to say what they were doing, but it was some unsavory things, right? They were doing some bad things. And they were like, nah, get out of here. And I'm like, what's up, man? I just want to chill. They're like, nah, you got to go, man. Like, you're going to be president one day. We can't even be around this, man. Get out of here. My teammates didn't even want me to be around them. They looked out for me, right? Because they knew that I was about business. They knew that I was not about that bad life, but I was about doing something positive in my life, whether it be football or something else. And they protected me in that way. And that's why I love those guys, man. They wear dreadlocks and gold teeth. I don't care. Like, they're my guys, you know? And they love me and they protected me. And that was given because I gave off the aura that, hey, I'm going to walk, talk, and act like I belong and that I have a future in front of me, you know? And because they saw that, they respected me in that regard. So it helps. It helped make decisions a lot easier for me. They wouldn't even come to me with decisions, yo, Myron, we're going to stay out, we're going to drive 4 hours to Atlanta and come back for workouts at 6 a.m. You know, that's retarded, right? That doesn't make any sense. But they did it, and they wouldn't invite me because they knew I wasn't gonna say yes. I mean, wasn't gonna partake in it. So that's kind of how it went.
Pressure making a decision between being a Rhodes Scholar and a professional athlete.
I did. I felt a lot of pressure. I went to the Senior Bowl after I was at Oxford. I didn't play my senior year, but I got invited to Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. And when I went there, I got interviewed by a team that asked me, Myron, do you feel like you abandoned your team because you went to Oxford and didn't stay? How would you feel if your best player, who's a guy named Everett Brown, he's from North Carolina, matter of fact, how would you feel if Everett Brown left your team his junior year and, you know, you guys were just struggling to replace him? You know, like you went to Oxford, you chose football you chose academics over football. You don't seem really committed to the sport. They asked me this in an interview at the Senior Bowl. A team. I won't mention what team. They were red, but anyway, I'm like, really? I'm thinking to myself, like, they just don't get it. They don't get that this decision was not just about me. This decision of going to Oxford wasn't about Myron Rolle. It was about other young people who see that decision and say, I can be inspired by the young man because he married academic success and athletic success into one material corporate body, and he had success. Like, I can do it too, you know? Like, the last Rhodes Scholar to play in the NFL was a guy named Pat Hayden in the 1970s. And the fact that I was doing it now, and the fact that I look like this with this skin color and from the Bahamas, it's like it might have been a huge representation and a huge movement forward for people who might have thought that that wasn't possible for them. So the decision wasn't about me, it was about other people. And the fact that that team didn't recognize it, and other teams, it was kind of depressing to me. You know, it's like, y'all don't understand it. But, you know, I don't blame the NFL, man. I feel like those guys, when they have a system that works, they just want to stick with it, you know? Just like, let's see, for instance, watch how many teams are going to do what the 49ers did, that little, I forget whatever. Yeah, read option. Watch how many teams are going to do that now. Copycat league, everybody does the same thing. Once that goes out of style, it's going to be something else. You know, the pistol, and then it's going to be something else. That's how they are. That's how their thinking is. So when you see someone new like me come in, they challenge it, they question it because it's unknown. But, you know, like I said, I prayed about it, thought about it, and thought back to my father challenging me to be a great thinker, and it was the right decision. It really was. Because now, you know, I got a chance to go to Africa with President Clinton. You know, Jesse Jackson and I are really good friends, and I've worked with him extensively. Do you know who Cornel West is? Guy, he has crazy hair, black guy, real loud talking, got a gap, yeah. With the glasses, yeah. I mean, we're really close now. And all these opportunities wouldn't have been presented to me if I hadn't taken that Rhodes Scholarship and been a great thinker. Now, there's just a lot more movement in my life it's a great direction, and it's a blessing because of that decision. And there was a lot of pressure, but I think it was the right one.
How do you keep the level head around, you know, like how do you keep yourself grounded from not getting too big-headed?
Yeah. One, my older brothers do it for me. They make sure I know my place, and I'm still the baby. And you may get all that fame and all that stuff out there, but you will still set the table. And, you know, you will still do all the things required of the last kid. And another thing that keeps me very humble is the fact that I don't feel entitled to any of this stuff. You know what I mean? I don't feel like, you know, I'm deserving of any of it. All of this is God's favor. All of this, being here, being able to speak, public speaking, having that gift, being able to study at Oxford. You know, I know many people who grew up in my hometown of Galloway that made a left turn instead of a right turn and had more talent than me in football, were actually better students than me, but made bad decisions. And sometimes we're caught up in situations that were really rough. And so for me to make it out of that mire, listen to my parents and make it out, and then go to the Hun School at Princeton, my high school, and make it, and then go to Florida State and make it, and continue to move forward, it's just blessing after blessing after blessing. Like the overflow, it's exceeding, it's abundant, it's incredible, and I just always go back to the fact that I don't have to have this right now. Somebody woke me up this morning, someone allowed me to put this ask out on, somebody allowed me to be here right now, and it's not me. It's not me. So that keeps me very humble and making sure that, hey, I meet Jeff Gordon, thank you, I appreciate it. I love it, I admire it, but at the same time, you know, it's not something that like I'm supposed to have, you know what I'm saying? It's certainly a blessing, and that keeps you right on the ground, right on the ground.
What was the process like applying for the Rhodes Scholarship, and when did you like start the application process?
And I wrote a 1,000-word personal statement on my story, how my story ties into the Rhodes Scholarship, and why this scholarship will help me be a difference maker and find a social injustice and try to change it in the world. How I need the Rhodes Scholarship in order to be great, right? That's what they want to hear. They want to, they want to say, hey, this is a great scholarship. Not just, we don't accept anybody, So you got to make them feel like, hey, I need this because I want to go here and do this and do that, and being a Rhodes Scholar can help me get there. So I had to write that personal statement. I rewrote that maybe like 16 times. I went over and over and over again, just to try to fit in 1,000 words. So that was tough. And then you go through like 6 or 7 mock interviews. And my school did that. And I don't know if this school has an Office of National Fellowships. It's an office that was specifically designed for people to apply for these postgraduate scholarships like Rhodes Scholarships and Marshalls and Trumans and Fulbrights and Goldwaters and Mitchells. So Florida State, we put a particular interest in that, and this office kind of helped us with the process. So I went through about 6 or 7 mock interviews, sitting at tables almost like this. I'm here, and then all the judges are around and asking me questions about everything. They would ask me questions and stuff that I didn't know. They knew I was interested in medicine, so they might ask me, Thabo Mbeki said something about South Africa, where you won't get AIDS if you shower after you have intercourse or something like that. He's like, how do you feel about that? I'd never heard of Thabo Mbeki. I don't know what that is, but somehow I need to bring that answer back to me and talk about myself and my journey, and talk about how the Rhodes Scholarship can help me learn about Thabo Mbeki. Just try to bring it all back together. That's what they want to see you think on your feet. They're gonna throw you stuff that you don't know, and you got to try to critically think quickly and bring the question back to you. So went through those interviews, turned in my resume to the Rhodes Committee, and then I got called for the Rhodes final interview, and then went to Birmingham, and my interview was 20 minutes at 12:50 Central Time, and I interviewed, won the scholarship, got on a private plane, flew to Maryland. My team was playing, joined them in the second quarter. We won the game 37-3. I had like 3 tackles, but we were killing them by the time I got there, and that was it, man. And you choose which college you want to go to. See, Oxford has a whole bunch of colleges you can choose. I chose Teddy Hall. It's a real jock college, but it's a great one, old one, built in 1210 or something like that. Then you choose your course of study as well, medical anthropology, and then you go from there. And the study at Oxford was very liberal. It was like 12 people in a class. Teacher would come up, lecture, no test all year. The only thing that was graded was your final exam. You wrote a 6-hour essay, just writing. They give you a question and you just write. You just write. That's not even the worst one though. I have a friend from Oxford who's a Rhodes Scholar as well. His test, he had to write for 3 hours on, the question was water, period. And he had to write for 3 hours on water. Just water, anything you wanted, water. Like they keep it broad, but they want to see you think. And after you pass that, it's pass-fail, then you get your degree.
I read online that the questions that they ask at Oxford, whether there be an open discussion, that they're designed to make you think, so they're really broad.
Yeah.
How is their way of learning different from how you learned at Florida State?
They really want you, Oxford is a very liberal kind of place, It's very liberal. They want you to be broad thinkers, and my degree especially, this is being recorded, but my degree, they wanted you to look at medicine, biomedicine, not as the enemy, but as something that needed to be fixed. Because they felt like Western doctors just looked at people as patients with like inanimate objects that didn't have any role in their treatment process. It kind of felt like they were just numbers, and you just hand them a pill, treat them, surgery, that's it. You know, like you don't understand who they are, you don't speak to their personal narrative, you don't get to know them. Like that's how they felt biomedicine was. And so medical anthropology was trying to bridge that gap between the healer and the patient, where you got to actually know who the people you were trying to take care of. So the questions talked a lot about the personal touch. We had these tutorials. Every 2 weeks, you have to write a 2,000-word paper, and you sat in a room by yourself with your professor, and they told you how bad you did. They ripped your paper apart, have red mark all over it. They said, yeah, you did terrible, you did terrible, you did terrible. All right, good job, come back next week. They're like, what? They're rough, they're really rough, especially with that British accent, wearing the tweed jacket and all that, with the elbow patches like you got. That's exactly it, you know? So it's hard, but they're trying to challenge you, trying to get you thinking outside the box. And the Rhodes Trust gives you a certain amount of money and a stipend. They want you to travel to these places that you're learning about. So if you're learning about Burkina Faso, Africa, in your studies, they want you to actually go to Burkina Faso, Africa, and see what it looks like. They give you money to do that. In fact, President Clinton, again, great friend of mine, he took his Rhodes Scholarship money and just traveled the whole time. He didn't even go to class. He was gone. And they call it the Clinton rule, where they actually need you in class some parts of the day. But he was all over the place. You know, Bill Bradley, he was all over the place, and he came back and became a Hall of Fame New York Knicks basketball player and a U.S. senator from Jersey. So it's very liberal, lower class size. Tutorial sessions are tough, but it's something that you definitely can handle. You definitely can handle.
How do people respond to your decision? You know, as far as your teammates, your coaches. Like I know everybody was like probably like excited and like happy for you, but you know you were a vital part on the team. So I know like where a coach of the team is like, you know, we need you, or things of that nature. Just I want to know like how was that came to you? Was there anything that was negative at the time?
You know, my teammates kind of knew my vision. They knew that I wanted to be a doctor, and they knew I wanted to do great things academically. And they didn't know what a Rhodes Scholarship was, so they were getting kind of a learning process through this whole thing as well. And they were just very supportive, man. My coaches were supportive. And that's one thing I loved about Bobby Bowden, man. He stayed true to his word. I went to Urban Meyer in Florida. I saw Mark Rick at Georgia. I was Mac Brown in Texas. Charlie Weiss when he was at Notre Dame. I was all over the place. I had A3 offers, seeing all these different colleges, and all of them said, Myron, you know, you can be a true student athlete here. You can do what you need to do. It sounds good, right? But Bobby Bowden said it, then actually did it. He allowed me to miss practice sometimes for my labs. He allowed me to miss half the game, a very important game against Maryland, to go interview for my Rhodes Scholarship. He was very true to his commitment of me being a true student athlete. Like, he was real steadfast on it, and I appreciated that. So all my coaches, they loved it as well. One coach, we had this guy named Rick Trickett. He was like, Myron, man, I couldn't understand why anybody wanted to go to Mississippi. I said, Mississippi? He's like, yeah, you're going to Oxford, right? It's like, Oxford, Mississippi. I was like, man, you're such a country dude, man. But yeah, they loved me, man. They loved it for it, and I appreciate that.
I know you played in the NFL for a couple of years. So what was your biggest eye-popping experience, or unexpected experience in the NFL?
My biggest eye-popping experience in the NFL would probably be the fact that it's so much a business, man. Like, 1 second I'm next to a guy, the next second he's gone, and they replace him with Randy Moss. You know, you're like, Randy Moss. You know, it's unbelievable how there's no cohesion like a college team. You know, I'm sure like all y'all boys, y'all are very close. Y'all are loyal to NCCU, and you know, you just feel a lot of pride in it, like I did at Florida State. You know, I'm sure you did. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. You feel a lot of pride in your college team, and that's how it should be. When you get to the pros, it's like, man, it's about this money. It's about this money. You get the money, you play well, you know, you do well, you get rewarded for your pay, and then after work, you go home. You don't see the guys, you don't hang out with them that much, because guys, they're not going to Waffle House after work, you know. They're going home to their wife and kids because they're like grown men, you know. So it's a whole different thing, man. When I got there, I said, gee, we're not chilling. No, nah, man. It's like, we're going home, bro. And they go home in their Escalade, and I'm going home in my little Scion, you know. It's like, it's a whole different atmosphere, bro. But it's a business. It's a business. It's a great sport, a great league, most profitable league. well liked overseas. When I was in England, they loved the NFL. You know, when they had that game over in Wembley Stadium every year, you know, they had the game over in England. Man, they got so many fans that came over there. So it's a hugely popular sport worldwide. But yes, it is very much a business. I know you hear it, but you don't actually feel it till you get there. You got to learn about what credit is and credit reports and all that stuff. No idea what that was. I hope y'all are learning that right now, because y'all, I'm telling you, I couldn't get a. So who said from Nashville? Which one of y'all from Nashville? Yeah, I was with the Titans. I couldn't even get an apartment in Nashville, man. What y'all doing in Nashville? They looked at my credit. They were like, "Oh no, you don't have a credit." No, like, you know, I didn't know what that was. I didn't get that literacy in college. Hopefully, y'all are getting. I really do. Credit is something important. So that kind of stuff. You know, learning how to manage bank accounts. You know, I just got $70,000 dropped to me like that. You know, what am I going to do with that money? How am I going to use it? Am I going to invest it? Am I going to save it? Like, what's going to happen? And that was only a little bit of money. I had teammates that were making $5 million coming out, first round picks in my same draft class. So all that stuff was different. But again, it's a business. You got to have the right people around you to manage it.
You're very focused on your education, career, inspiring people. But how important for you is the family and the relationship?
Family is incredibly important, and I can't say it enough. You know, I said today that my parents have been married 41 years, and they still kiss in front of me and do all that stuff. It's nasty. I don't want to see it. You know, my parents love each other. My daddy will sing to my mother. He can't sing at all, but he sings all the time to her. So I just knew that, you know, my folks were always going to be there for me, and I knew that I always tried to make them proud. You know, it's that one thing that you're always trying to reach. And you're so close to it all the time. You're like, why do I want to do good in school? Why do I want to do good on the field? Why do I want to do good in the community? You know, is it for personal gratification? No, it's because I know so many people, names known, like my family, and names unknown, those people who, you know, were in this country and breaking down barriers for me, they've worked so hard, toiled and strove for me to be where I am today and have this chance. So I do not have the time to blow it, and I cannot blow it. I cannot fail. Failure is not an option. I have to be successful. And it may not be in football. I only played 2.5 years in the NFL, but it could be somewhere else. You know, it could be in another phase of my life. So family, they kept me centered. They loved me. They protected me. On my recruiting visits, they used to come with me and you know, grill the coaches. Like, yeah, you know, y'all getting our gem. You know, so tell us what y'all gonna do to him. You know, tell us what y'all gonna say. You know, they were right there with me. You know, we were almost like a little team. I had 4 older brothers who loved me, man, and it was amazing. And sometimes when I was younger, when somebody, you know, tried me in my hometown, my brothers used to come and handle those guys too. They used to put their hands on them, you know, put their paws on them, as they say. So I mean, we fought for each other, we loved each other, we prayed with each other, and family was incredibly important. And I think that's one of the important parts of our society. And you know, I can't speak to Russia as much, but you know, our society, at least moving forward in America, getting that family unit together again. I think that can assuage so many of our issues now with kids who drop out of school or get into the criminal lifestyle. You know, having that family unit, even being obese, sitting down and having structured family meals could, you know, help people not be obese in that regard. And having parents tell kids, hey, put down the cupcake and pick up the banana. Like, you know, those type of things that a lot of kids don't get. Family is incredibly important. And I'm not, you know, I can't say it enough. But thank you for that question, though, because they really made me smile. And I know, you know, my family, you know, they deserve all the credit, my Lord and my family, for all the things I've been able to do in my life.